Hello, hello. It is Coach Sarah, and welcome to our weekly group coaching call. Tonight, we are going to talk about a very important topic as we continue on in the Big Five Accountability Challenge. And that topic is the power of visualization and affirmations, which is kind of in the topic on the table for this week, and what I've been talking about, what Coach Andrew's been talking about. And we're going to discuss that a little bit more in depth tonight. And I'm going to take you through some tangible takeaways that you can start using to start your own visualization and affirmation practice. So, visualization practices have been used by all different types of people to achieve success, from athletes to the super rich to super successful business people. And it's because this practice can be done anywhere. You can do it under any conditions. It requires zero equipment. All it requires is a willingness for you to envision yourself in the position that you desire to be in. And this daily practice is really going to help you align yourself with your goals and your ambitions and your dreams. Because oftentimes, we have these goals, these ambitions, and these dreams, but our self-talk and this narrative that we have going on in the back of our mind does not match up with our goals. So we may want to get more fit. We may want to run the race. We may want to do the thing, but we have this narrative or this storyline telling us that we're not going to show up because, for whatever reason, whether it be that you've tried and failed before, whether it be that you have never been there yet and you have this paralyzing fear of not being able to follow through and hit that goal, or we can call it fear of failure or fear of success, however you want to spin it. But whatever the thing is that's stopping you from getting to your goal, visualization is going to help you chop down that obstacle, because it's really going to set you up for four things. The first thing is that it's going to be activating your subconscious mind, which is going to be it's going to start you in that generation of ideas that are geared toward your goal instead of ideas that are geared away from it. When we are thinking about all the reasons that we can't do something, we're constantly going to be envisioning all the reasons why we can't. If we're thinking and envisioning the reasons why we can do it and envisioning ourselves showing up like that person, our daydreaming, if you will, is going to start being more reflective of those goals instead of reflective of that stinky thinking or that crappy narrative that we have going on in our mind. The second thing visualization and affirmations are going to do for you is they're going to program your brain. And they're going to program your brain to more readily perceive and recognize the resources that you need to be able to show up like the person that you want to become. So there's a part of our brain, and I've referred to this before, it's called our reticular activating system. And that part of our brain is what helps us self-actualize. So if we have this stinky thinking negative narrative in our brain that we are a failure or that we aren't going to show up in whatever way we need to, we're going to start seeking out information or confirmation in our environment that those things are true. So that's where all of the excuses and the I would buts and the permission slips, that's where they start coming into play. Those are all self-preservation mechanisms. Those are all things that we're doing to essentially keep ourselves from experiencing that failure that we keep telling ourselves that we're going to experience. The third thing that it does when we visualize is that it activates this law of attraction, of bringing into our world the things that we want to bring into our world, speaking life into the things that we want to have happen. It's going to bring the right resources into your life. It's going to bring the right people into your life. It's this energy that you're putting out into the world that is going to attract in the right things. And the fourth aspect of this is that it's going to be building your intrinsic motivation. So when you think about what's the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? Well, that intrinsic motivation is that motivation from within to do something, that deeper why, versus the extrinsic motivation of like the dangling carrot. Like, do you always want to forever have to dangle a carrot in front of yourself to do something? I don't. So if we can harness the power of visualization and harness the power of these affirmations that we're creating for ourselves, we are going to be way more likely to show up as the person that we need to show up as if we're going to get to the goal that we want to get to. And again, this sounds so simple, right? But it's the process of doing it, because it is simple in essence, but not easy. Nothing, when we're talking about changing habits and getting out of our own way, in essence, that's not easy. Think about how long you've been doing what you've been doing. Think about how long you've been showing up like the person you've been showing up like. Maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months, maybe 8 years, maybe your whole life. Like, this isn't a 30-day process. It's a process of first figuring out, what does it actually look like to be the person you want to be? And that starts with visualizing it and actually seeing what that looks like. Because I would be willing to bet that somebody watching this has not even taken the time yet to close their eyes and think about, what does it look like when I am at my goal? What does it look like? What am I doing? What am I wearing? How am I feeling? So we're going to talk about two major things that I want you to start actively including in your practice with building these big 5 and any other goal that you want to crush. The first one is mental rehearsal. So mental rehearsal is a visualization process that's been used since the 1960s, when we learned from the Russians the power of visualization. And the mental rehearsal technique essentially has 3 major steps. The first step is going to be, so we're going to set the stage here kind of like a movie theater. So when we're doing this mental rehearsal, you want to think about your goal, or this whatever it is that you're visualizing, kind of like stepping into an AMC, and your goal is up on the screen. So step 1, I want you to imagine yourself sitting in the movie theater. The lights go dim, and the movie is about to start. It's a movie of you doing whatever it is that you want to do better. What does that look like? So if you're on this call, I want you to close your eyes. If you're listening to this, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine yourself doing perfectly whatever it is that you want to do better. I want you to see it in as much detail as you can create, including your clothing, the expressions on your face, even the smallest of body movements, your environment, any people that might be around you, the sounds that you might be hearing, the smells that you might be smelling. And finally, I want you to think about the feelings in your body that you would be experiencing as you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. Step 2, I want you to imagine yourself, you're watching this movie, and I want you to imagine getting out of your chair. I want you to walk up to the movie screen. I want you to open a door in the screen and enter into your own movie. Now, I want you to experience the same movie that you were watching, but now from inside yourself, watching it through your own eyes or living it through your own eyes. This process is called the embodied image. So now you're watching this as if you're acting it out. We're working on deepening the impact of this experience. I still want you to work on seeing everything in very vivid detail and feeling all the feelings that you'd be experiencing as you do this thing. Now, step 3, I want you to walk back out of the screen that is still showing the picture of you perfectly performing. And I want you to return to your seat in the theater. I want you to reach out and grab that screen with your hand and shrink it down to the size of a cracker. And then bring that miniature screen up to your mouth, pop it in there, chew it up and swallow it. Imagine each tiny piece that contains the full picture of you performing well, traveling down into your stomach, through your bloodstream, and into every cell of your body. And then imagine every cell of your body lit up with that movie of you performing perfectly. Like one of those appliance store windows where they have 50 TV screens all lit up with the same TV show at the same time. When you finish this process, which it's going to take you about 5 minutes to go through on your own, all you need to do from here is open your eyes. So go ahead and just open your eyes, and that's it. That's the power of visualization. And now you're setting the tone for the whole rest of your day by getting your mind right and seeing what it is that you want to achieve. And you can apply that process to anything, to any habit, to any one of the big 5, to any goal that you have. If you can see it, you can achieve it. So the second part of this process that we're going to talk about tonight is taking that visualization and all of those things that you saw and turning those visualizations into affirmations. And we're going to use a simple process of getting some index cards. So you may have some at home already, some 3x5 index cards or recipe cards. And what I want you to do is I want you to take that visualization that you just did, and from it, draw affirmations. So like, for instance, if you're like, I have a goal. One of my personal goals is to be vacationing more. I don't vacation enough. So one of my affirmations that I am speaking over myself currently is that I am a person who vacations for 6 weeks a year. Am I currently? No. But am I going to be? Yes. Because I'm speaking life into it. So out of that visualization that you had of you performing that thing perfectly, what positive affirmations could you pull from that visualization? I am a person who eats her vegetables every day. I am a person who sleeps for 7 hours each night. I am a person who takes the time to schedule their workouts. I am a person who, fill in the blank with whatever affirmation you need to be speaking over yourself, and write each one on an index card. Keep that stack somewhere where you can very easily access them. Flip through them. Just by reading over those and as you flip through them, speak them out loud. There is power in our words. There is power in vocalizing those affirmations. And repeating those affirmations is going to keep you focused on your goal. It's going to keep your intrinsic motivation strong. And it's going to continually be reprogramming your subconscious mind by keeping you focused on what you are instead of keeping you focused on what you aren't. So if you do these two things, I guarantee you that you will see progress towards getting more consistent with the big five and any other goal that you have for your life. Because visualization and affirmation is worth its weight in gold when it comes to helping you crush your goals. There is not a magic bullet. And I will say that till I am blue in the face. In any physical goal, there is not one thing that's going to take you there. It's going to be a culmination of all of your efforts done repeatedly, showing up consistently. And if you can visualize what that looks like for you to be that person and for you to show up consistently in a way that is going to help you get to your goal, you are so much more likely to actually follow that out and carry that out to fruition. So although that daily practice of visualization is pretty vital to crushing your goals, I don't want you to feel like you have to spend all day doing it either. So set aside a couple minutes. Set aside 2 to 3, maybe 5 minutes to do this practice. This does not need to be a tedious, painstaking practice. And know that when you do this and when you take the time to visualize and affirm yourself, check the self-care box for the big five. That is self-care at its finest. That is an activity that is going to fill us the cup, friends. So let's get to work and let's start working towards creating a visualization practice that encourages you to show up as that person who does the big five. What does that look like for you? Let's visualize that. Take the time. Paint the picture. Because once you do, and you paint a picture of success, instead of continually coloring in this picture of failure, or just not coloring in the picture at all and running away from the picture. If we can look at the picture and color the picture in and create a beautiful canvas, you're way more likely to show up. So I'm excited to see what this visualization practice does for you in your quest to get to your goals, and what the affirmations also continue to do for, creating the right mindset around showing up and being the person that it's going to take to get to where you want to be. Because just knowing what to do, it's only part of it, right? We have to show up. We have to lather, rinse, and repeat our way toward the goals that we want to achieve. If we want to get there, we have to take that personal responsibility. So what does it look like for you? I'm going to be checking in over the next couple of days in the Facebook group, asking you more about what that visualization process is doing for you and how it's shifting and changing the way that you're showing up. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how that changes things for you in particular. but make sure you're checking in the Facebook group, because again, those check-ins are going to be weighing in towards some pretty cool prizes at the end of the 30 days of accountability, which we're already well almost to halfway, which is very exciting. So keep showing up, keep challenging yourself to do a little bit better. It's not about perfection, but it is about showing up, and it is about challenging yourself, and it is about taking action. So we're getting to that point where the pink cloud is starting to wear off. You have a choice. You either show up or you can lay down. Your choice. Have a great night, you guys. I will see you again next week, Thursday, 7:00. And until then, check in the Facebook group, check in the group portal, and keep living your best life. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye, guys.